Uh, where are you from originally, and how did your hometown sort of inspire or affect, your creative career as we know it?
Well, I was from Long Valley, New Jersey, the northwestern part. I've lived in different places, but I was principally in Long Valley, New Jersey. And in terms of my inspiration, it was the public schools. I mean, the public schools were great. I had great teachers in the public schools. I had great music teachers in the public schools. My choral teacher, Mr. Ruffino, and Mr. Kane, Mr. Lance, these people who taught me music they were incredible, very, very fine musicians, and set a very, very high standard. And I mean, I'm all for celebrating educators and the public school system and the profound difference that they made in my life. And of course, I'm talking about music and theater, and of course, programs have been cut across the country, and it's not just a shame. I think it's a danger for our society to not to buttress the arts in these schools. I think it's the thing that has the ability to create people who can link and connect to each other. Is familiarity and understanding and participating in the arts. It doesn't have to be a professional pursuit. It's just, I think, for everyone who sang in the choruses and did the shows, just like kids are doing across the country, it changes their lives. And so, in terms of, I wouldn't say there's a one-to-one, ratio in terms of or relationship in terms of how the school, led me to write the song or something like that. But I felt that artistic expression when I was in school was something that was valued, nurtured, and it was done in a public school by wonderful public school teachers. So I am in their debt. I think about the great teachers I had at Eastman who were prominent musicians and such, and they were incredible. Tom Paul, who's still around Rochester, God bless him. He was an incredible teacher. But like many people, I'll think back to my, elementary school and high school teachers and the incredible impact they had on my life.
So I'm talking to you, of course, not so far after one of your songs was quoted in a president's inaugural address. So the you and the ceiling are becoming a little bit more intimate, perhaps. But if there was anything that you'd want to accomplish next, or the next thing that the next big achievement for you, what would you want that to be, and what would it look like?
I just, continue to do work with people that I admire. It's like playing tennis. I always say it's like playing tennis against people who are better than me. It raises my game. And I'm working on a new opera with Jake Hagee that I'm very excited about. It hasn't been announced, otherwise I would tell you about it. But I'm also working on a piece which has been announced with Joby Talbot, a wonderful English composer based on the Diving Bell and the Butterfly. And I'm very, very, very excited about that piece, which is going to premiere in Dallas. And so just to continue to do interesting work and work that has meaning to me. I have a recording that's coming out on the 27th of January, a piece I wrote with Jake Hagee featuring Sasha Cook and Daniel Hope, the great violinist. It's called Intonations, Songs from the Violins of Hope. And it's about these violins that had been used in Auschwitz and other of the camps, and the stories behind these instruments. I'm very happy about this piece coming out, the recording coming out, which I think is quite beautiful. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how that piece, plays around the country and around the world, and just continue to do interesting things. It's just gonna when I hang up with you, I'll just go back to the couch, get my computer out, and continue on the journey. So.
I understand. I'm right there with you. One more. Do you have any advice for aspiring artists?
Um, Work hard and don't wait for someone to ask you to do it. Just do it. I mean, there's a lot of people who say I want to write a novel. Somehow, people who really want to do it find a way to do it. They get up at 5 a.m. and they do it. Uh, One of the story I always tell is my friend Rachel Klein, who's a novelist, and she wrote a piece for her high school as an alum for her high school magazine, and she went to St. Anne's in New York City and Brooklyn. And she wrote a piece about 9/11 after the attack. And it was an essay. And one of the mothers of one of the students in the school was a big literary agent and called her up and said, that essay that you wrote was beautiful. Do you have anything else? And Rachel said, well, I actually have a novel that I've written that's underneath my bed. She gave it to her and she got a 3-book deal from Random House. So my point is, when the moment happened, she had the thing to share. She didn't wait to do it. And I can say in terms of my own life, that's the what I spoke to you earlier about. Um, when I was in Vienna for all those years, for 10 years, and writing these 30 or 40 songs that I brought back with me, and this finished libretto of a sort of a hybrid musical opera piece. So when I got this moment to speak with Francesca Zambello, I actually had the stuff to share with her. So it's a hard, challenging, but incredibly rewarding life. But it's just about doing it and getting up and just getting to work every day.